welcome back viewers on to our daily IPL show on NewsX. Punjab Kings have won the toss and elected to bat first in Dharamshala. They posted a competitive 210 for 5, but DC's bowlers kept things tight with regular breakthroughs. Chasing 211, Delhi Capitals showed great fight led by a strong middle order effort from Akshar Patel and David Miller, winning by 3 wickets with 6 balls to spare. Now ahead to Sunrisers Hyderabad versus Gujarat Titans. Both teams are in strong form, batting for a top 2 spot. Expect a high scoring thriller at Ahmedabad with dew likely to help the chasers. Gujarat Titans will bank on Gill, Sudarshan and Rashid, while SRH will rely on Head, Abhishek and Klaasen's firepower. To break that down, let's go across to Sunil Yashkalra, our cricket scholar. Sunil, you will help us understand this better with your guests.
Well, absolutely. I've got a heavy-duty lineup of guests. David Brooks joins me from Oxfordshire, who's recovering from a minor injury playing cricket for the league on Sunday. I'm also joined by former club cricketer from Chennai, A.K. Satish, who's also led as the sports editor of Gulf News. I'm also joined by Sri Lankan commentator Zakwan Rumi. Welcome you all. Satish, are you good to go as an opener for the show?
Thanks for having me on the show. To my fellow panelists. Sunil, I don't mind playing any order. Like I'm a team man, you know that. So I'm game. Yeah, I'm ready to don the opener's role.
Well, absolutely. Yesterday, Priyansh Arya, Prabsimran Singh came out with serious intent. Arya's explosive 56 of 33 was the highlight, but the DC bowlers under immediate pressure, while PBK has got the fast start. Do you think the opening was fast and furious? The openers, since we're talking about the opening the innings, Satish, yesterday.
Yes, see, as I mentioned yesterday, Punjab relied heavily on the openings. Especially the 2 young openers, Arya, who could really play some very good shots, and he's a very good young talent. So that was the moment they got the start. It was pretty much they were on target, and they managed to score the score past 200 plus. But I felt while the start was very good, the finish was not as good as it started. The last 3 overs, I think they scored something like 18-20 runs. With almost 5 wickets in hand. I think that's where they lost the plot slightly. And that really gave Delhi the momentum back a bit at that point of time, though initially Delhi lost the wickets and then things changed around. But I felt, yes, it was a great top 4 performance by the Punjab Kings. They had a very strong top 4 and they banked on that and they managed to score good runs. And that's where they stand, Sunil. It was excellent start.
David, your namesake, David Killer the Miller, actually showed why he's one of the best in the business. 51 of 28 deliveries was ice cold. He absorbed the pressure when the asking rate climbed and then targeted a specific bowler to ensure Delhi never entered the panic mode. David, what's with the David and the Goliath and now David and Miller? Of course, to answer that riddle is David Brooks.
Well, yeah, no, David Miller and Akshar Patel were the stars, weren't they, for Delhi Capitals? I thought that Punjab had enough. I agree with Satish saying, I thought the last few overs they could have boosted their score further. So you were thinking like, could 2/3, but you thought 210 was probably a pass score. The wicket was helpful to the seamers. We didn't see an over of spin in the whole match. I thought it would be enough. What I hadn't bargained for, yes, firstly, Akshar Patel and David Miller performing so well, but the bowling of Punjab Kings, you know, we have to say, wasn't that disappointing? I mean, 17 wides, and no one really able to stem the flow. Even though they took those 3 early wickets of Delhi Capitals, you know, and I was thinking all along that they could probably win. Punjab could win the match, but the bowling was too erratic for me, and you know, that's where I think they lost the game, because that should have been a defendable score.
Well, that should have been a defendable score. Zakwan Rumi, what's with the wides and the extras and the and the missed catches that we've seen with the teams, and certainly they're languishing at the bottom of the pool table because of that. Certainly, Punjab was up on the top, but suddenly they've lost the momentum, and these disciplinary things are causing them a problem. What's your view on this, Akwan Ruby?
How disappointing. How disappointing to see such a beautiful team standing on the top in the first few six games, going so strongly. And all of a sudden now they're sitting at the fourth with four losses on the trot. Of course, Punjab should have been able to defend. 210 was an above par score with that pitch, with a lot of seam movement, variable bounce. So, like you said, the problem was not with the bat. It was execution with the ball and the fielding, especially under pressure. And I think Shreya said it best. Punjab really need to focus again on their fielding and bowling because they need to hit those hard length short of hard length as the best option on that surface, and they failed to do that. And unfortunately, that costed them the game.
Well, absolutely. Badar Tiwari for Delhi Capitals. In the middle, his 2 for 40 might look expensive, but getting the dangerous Priyan Charya and Cooper Collinley was huge. Do you think, Zach, very quickly, Madhav Tiwari was the impactful player of the match yesterday?
I mean, Madhav Tiwari was outstanding. Let's give him a round of applause because that was not just a small cameo. This was a complete all-round impact. In only his first game of the season and second IPL match overall, he took two important wickets, including that of Priyan Sharia, who had already given Punjab that flying start, and then came at the end of a 211 chase and finished unbeaten on 18 of just 8 balls. So that tells you he didn't just participate in the game; he affected that both innings that they were playing. So for a younger player like him to come to bowl 4 overs, get those 2 wickets, and then walk in during a pressure chase and strike at 2-2-5, it's not a cameo. That's just temperament. That's why he gets the play of the match.
Well, absolutely. What you see on your screen is Madhav Tiwari. Very quickly, David Brooks, the young lad, did he impress you? Madhav Tiwari, since we are talking about his performance yesterday, the Delhi Capitals bowler.
Yeah, I mean, I thought when Miller was out, I thought, well, the odds were swinging back towards Punjab. But I reckon without Tiwari, also impressed with Ashutosh Sharma and even Nabi at the end coming in, hitting that 6. So, yeah, the batting seemed to be much deeper than previously thought. So they batted deep. And, yeah, I was impressed with the way they never said die at the end, because surely when Miller was out, Punjab must have thought, we've got this match back in the bag. So yeah, all credit to those youngsters.
Well, we are still sticking to the match that was played yesterday between the Punjab Kings and Delhi Capitals. Both the North Indian teams have been losing. It's been a checkered game of fortunes for them. Satish, what's your, if you were to look at one memory of the match yesterday, what would that be? Because Tiwari seems to be standing heads and shoulder above the other big names dawning yesterday. Your views?
Yeah, Sunil, there are not just one standout moment. I would say starting from Ingiri's last couple of overs, then Akshar Patel and David Miller, the partnership that proved crucial, because after losing 4 wickets, I thought the match was gone, because chasing such a big total, you're looking at a asking rate of about 14 runs. The match was almost done. So that partnership was crucial for me, and of course the cameos, or rather the match-winning knocks by Madhav Tiwari and Nabi, Akib Nabi, who at least scored at least for a strike rate of 500. So these are some of the brilliant things. But what I would also like to bring out here is why these two teams are languishing at the bottom is because if you look at the charts, especially the purple cap charts, Ashdeep is the only bowler from Punjab Kings who is somewhere around 10th in the slot. And if you look at Delhi Capitals, Akshar Patel is somewhere around 20th. If I have to quote one of the top of, rather a legend of T20, Nicholas Boren, he said, matches are won by batsmen, but it's the bowlers who win you tournaments or trophies. So at this rate, if you look at, that's one of the reasons why both the teams are struggling, and especially Punjab is struggling, because they have managed to come on top on the back of the batting, but towards the tail end of the game, or the final home stretch of the tournament, it's the bowlers who will win you trophies, and that's where they are struggling.
Absolutely. Bowlers do definitely win trophies. Well, point made by Satish. Now moving on to the match 56, the preview between Gujarat Titans and SRH. Of course, 56th match of the IPL brings us heavyweight clash at the Narendra Modi Stadium today. Gujarat Titans against Sunrisers Hyderabad. The current form says Gujarat Titans are currently on a four-match winning streak. They arrive in Ahmedabad fresh after the massive 77-run victory over Rajasthan Royals. Meanwhile, Sunrisers have had a very checkered past in the last 6 weeks. They're also carrying the winning momentum after a 33-run victory over Punjab, where the batting unit posted a formidable 235. Zakwan, what do we have today for the match? What's your overall assessment in 30 seconds?
I think it's one of those balanced games of the IPL because both teams are coming in with very different strengths. Gujarat Titans looks more structured. Shubman Gill, Sai Sudarshan have given them strong starts. Gill especially has looked in great rhythm. And when Gujarat Titans get that platform, then players like Joss Butler, Rutherford can attack them very freely. Also,
Right.
Rashid Khan coming off a match-winning performance, so huge factor there. But SRH, aggressive middle order. Their 4 overs decide the game. SRH on other side you can control easily. We saw that with Punjab Kings. So Travis said, Abhishek Sharma, Klaasen, all of these top class batsmen waiting to play spin hitters in Team 20. So Rashid versus Klaasen could be a very important key battle. And then you have Pat Cummins, who also has led SRH well so far. So not just with wickets, that discipline and pressure pushing overs bring that momentum for his side. So yeah, we're going to see a very balanced but also an exciting game that is looking ahead of us.
You're absolutely looking ahead. How would you rate David Brooks when the top order onslaught is combated with the late finishers of the game? What is your thought on what is more crucial? Is it the first 6 overs of the game or finishing the game clinically, well, if not glamorously?
Well, we've seen the scores in the power play, the first 6 overs, getting higher and higher. So, but we saw in yesterday's match when Arya hit that first ball from Mitchell start for 6 over extra cover. We thought, well, here we go.
Right.
This is going to be a winning score. But as Satish was saying, the last 6 overs were pretty key as well, and not being able to keep the momentum going for the last 6 overs also turned out to be important. So I'd say both are really important. In today's clash, I think because the top orders are so strong, whichever top order sets the right platform will probably win. I mean, it's hard to speak against Sunrisers when their batting lineup is so strong in the top order with Abhishek and Travis Head and Ishan Kishan. Klaasen, I think, is over 500 runs in this tournament now. They have to be feared. But as Zakwan was saying, Gujarat Titans have got class as well up the order. I do think that the Gujarat team has improved since Jason Holder's been included. I think that he gives them some extra potency with the ball. He's been picking up a lot of decent wickets. Rashid has returned to form. So, it's going to be very balanced. The bookmakers can't separate them in the UK.
Forgive me for stepping in, but what about your Joss the Boss Butler? He against the Pat Cummins, his tactical rotations. I know you have great dislike for Aussies, of course, but what about Joss Butler's face-off with the Pat Cummins?
Well, I have a great admiration for Pat Cummins. He's one of the more likable Australian captains over the years. I rate him very highly. If you ask me who was going to come top in a Butler versus Cummins encounter, I would probably go for Cummins, actually, because Joss Butler's been a bit inconsistent. He has shown what he's capable of, and on his day, he's as good as anyone in this tournament. But on a head-to-head, I fancy Cummins, actually, in that. So Joss is, I think, possibly just over his best, and therefore I would back Cummins in that encounter.
Well, the power play collision seems to be very close. Satish, when we look at SRH's fearless intent against the pace of Gujarat Titans, how would you look at that combination between the power play collision between the top order destructive batting lineup of SRH versus a super chin music Gujarat Titans?
It's probably the best clash that one can look forward to, and the added incentive is the winner will take the top of the table. Like they will go to the top of the table. So this is a fantastic clash, and it can't get any better. I really want to fancy the clash between the SRH top order versus the Gujarat bowling. It's a fabulous bowling attack. Having said that, I still feel Sunrisers Hyderabad has got a slight edge in terms of the power play. If you look at the top, because the bowling has been slightly inconsistent from Gujarat. If you look at Rabada is very good. Of course, Siraj is also there. But I still feel they are not consistent enough to keep the uh, powerful batting lineup like Sunrisers in check. Yes, it's going to be a good batting surface in Ahmedabad. So I fancy Sunrisers to come on top against this Gujarat Titans. Probably it's the middle overs that will play a crucial role with Holder and Rashid Khan, because today, more than the power play and the finishing the final overs, it's the middle overs that actually sets the trend. I think the middle overs are going to be crucial, especially with Rashid Khan coming into his form, and Holder bowling his medium pace and bowling this short of length line and keeping the batter in check. So I would say it's a fantastic clash between the Gujarat bowling and the Hyderabad batting. That's what I feel, not the other way
Very
around.
good point. I think you've made a very honest observation and a very critical too. Zakwan Rumi, this is when the masters of the game with 3 decades of journalism experience talk. Of course, he's made a very important point about the middle overs. What you see on your screen is the war in the middle over between Rashid Khan. Of course, he was splendid in the previous game. Also, you've got to look at Klaasen's power, which David very briefly spoke about. What is your understanding of the middle overs war between the spinner Rashid Khan and Klaasen? Your views.
Well, very interestingly, you said Klaasen being SRH most important middle over player because he attacks spin better than most batters in the tournament. So teams usually use leg spin to control the middle overs 7 to 15, but Klaasen can completely decimate that plan. So against Rashid Khan, that this becomes that game within the game. If Klaasen survives the first few balls and then starts hitting straight or into the leg side, GT then loses their control, best control phase. But if Rashid gets him early, SRH's innings can then slow down.
Well, absolutely. If Rashid can
And
go.
Sunil, sorry to interrupt. There is a
No, no, please.
small
Okay.
game in between the game. It's Abhishek Sharma wants to prove something against his good friend Shubman Gill, probably, and Rashid Khan wants to probably prove against his old team, Sunrisers. So there are small mini clashes in the bigger battle which we can look at.
Well, interesting point you made. David Brooks, how important does it become? Because sometimes the childhood friends become, foes in the dugout. How is it looked upon, especially from where you come across?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? The IPL has changed sort of traditional rivalries. You've got people now playing alongside each other who were traditional opponents, and so you haven't got that. Yeah, you've got sort of great friends playing against each other. So it has changed the sort of the geography or the sort of the clashes. One player we haven't mentioned in any depth, Kagiso Rabada, has bowled. He's bowling exceptionally well, isn't he? So I agree with that assessment that it's actually the bowling of the Titans against the batting of Sunrisers will decide this match, I think, because on the day, the Sunrisers, we know, have got the batting to take any to chase down any total. But I wonder whether with Siraj, with Rabada as well as Rashid, whether the Titans can show the better bowling strength today.
Well, absolutely. We've got some nice assessment of the top order batting versus the chin music. Also, the middle overs, what you see on your screen. Let's look at the death batting. David, very quickly, the death when it comes to it needs a certain kind of mindset to finish the game. Do you think which team out of the two, when you look at head to head, is more capable of doing the finisher's job?
I think Sunrisers actually, yeah. I think they bat deep and they've got six sitters all the way down. I've been impressed with Aurora, who seems to be able to come in and um, at the crucial time later on in the innings and find the boundaries straight away, and good six hitter as well. So I'd say on balance, in terms of death batting, I would put Sunrisers slightly ahead of the Gujarat Titans, who you could say have got a longer tail, because look, Cummins is capable a lot with the bat, isn't he? He's underestimated with the bat. He doesn't like losing. He's got a good focus, and you'd back him as much as anyone. So I'd say the Titans have a longer tail. I'd put Sunrisers as a stronger batting lineup today.
Stronger batting lineup against the long tail. Very quickly, Satish, what's your favorite team of the day?
I would go with the Sunrisers because, as David also said, let's not forget Cummins just scored some 15 ball 50 or something when he played for KKR. So he
Right.
could bat as well. So there is a long batting for Sunrisers, and the bowling is also quite impressive with Cummins coming in. I would put Sunrisers to come good today, and yeah, that's my favorite.
Zakwan Ruby, very quickly, what's your favorite team of the day?
Right now, Gujarat Titans slightly looking like the favorites because of the momentum. Momentum matters a lot in a tournament like the IPL. GD
Well-
coming in with 4 wins on the trot, so
Well, we've got
GD.
one each, and it's going to be David who's going to be putting his money somewhere. An astute punter. David,
Well-
where's your money?
I'll be keeping my hands in my pockets today because it's so well balanced, as Zakwan said. If you had pin me to the wall, put a gun to my head, I'd say Sunrisers just to edge it. But it'll be key about those early overs.
Well,
for
we
me.
are on a super over right now. Two of my guests are going evens, and David Brooks deciding to walk out of this contest. Well, that's all we had time for. The show is called Cricketer, and this is Sunil Yashkala signing off from Mumbai on this wonderful afternoon. Don't go anywhere else. We'll be back after a short commercial break.